Hello everyone, this is Caleb Simpson here from ZeldaDungeon.net, and you are watching our video walkthrough with The Legend of Zelda: Twilight Princess. This chapter covers our search for the final Mirror Shard, which is presumably located in the sky, so we will be trying to figure out just how to get up there. This chapter runs a little over an hour and is going to be broken up into 7 videos. We've just completed the Temple of Time, and we are now back at the entrance where we use the Master Sword to strike the pedestal. Now before leaving this area entirely, you want to head back to the door that leads out, and you'll see that there is an owl statue on either side. So now that we have the Dominion Rod, you want to go ahead and use it on each of them to unveil some secrets. Off to one side, you can go back there to find a large chest that contains a piece of heart. If you've been following the walkthrough thus far, this should be your 37th piece of heart in total. I'm going to run around to the other side and use the Dominion Rod on this statue as well. Pull it back to reveal an imp Poe, so just transform him into a wolf and use your senses to defeat it and collect Poe Soul number 54. That's all we have to do here, so when you're all done playing around, go ahead and leave on through the door to re-emerge back into the Sacred Grove. As soon as you finish returning to the present, the screen will then whip around and we'll see Uku is there waiting for us. Well, hello. She explains that she was excited that we found the Dominion Rod, but it looks like the magic has been exhausted. She also says that she hoped to use it to return to the sky, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen now. Quite the coincidence, really, since the sky is our next destination. She mentions that there is a spell that will restore the power to it, but she doesn't remember where that is or how it worked or anything, so in the meantime, she's going to go looking for the statues, whatever that means. With that, she will then run off along with Uku Jr., which is just so weird. Midna will then appear and complain that you broke the rod. How dare you, you jerk. So if the game had more of a cartoony art style, I would have half expected Link to jerk back when she says that, like, me? More like the Phantom Hourglass and Spirit Tracks style, you know? Anyway, she basically states the obvious, saying that if the Dominion Rod can aid people in getting to the heavens, then we should definitely look into that, since that is the location of the next Mirror Shard. Once she's done talking, you want to go ahead and talk to her again, I suppose, and warp on over to Kakariko Village. Now, if you recall from earlier on in the game, you could chat with Shad, one of the 4 members of the resistance group that was within Telma's Bar, and he was very knowledgeable about ancient civilizations, and he rambled a bit about some ancient sky beings, as he called them, known as the Uka. So since a member of that group plays a vital role, you know, help us get to each dungeon, since one of them does that for each dungeon, this is pretty obviously Shad's turn. You can return to Telma's Bar if you want, however, they'll just inform you that he's in Kakariko Village. I'm skipping that step and going straight to Kakariko. As soon as you get there, you want to go ahead and enter the sanctuary. Inside, you'll see several familiar characters have gathered. The Goron Patriarch Darbus is alive and well, though it appears he doesn't recognize you. Gorkoron is present as well, explaining that they came to help regain the memories of an acquaintance of one of our brothers. I don't understand what they expect to accomplish through all this. Maybe it's like a common occurrence among Gorons to lose their memory, smashing their heads into rocks or something, so maybe they're experts of amnesia. Anyways, Renado is happy to see you and explains that Shad is down in the basement checking out the owl statues that are down there, researching how to reach the sky. This is convenient our next destination, so we better help him out. Renado goes on to say that Illia has mentioned someone speaking of the Rod of the Heavens, which is obviously the Dominion Rod. He changes the subject quickly though, saying that they want to try retracing her steps to see if they can regain her memory that way. Since Telma's Bar was the last place that Illia was located, Renado suggests you go and speak with her to find out what you can. I love how all these 3 people are gathered here to help, yet none of them actually want to go leave and go. And as soon as we show up, the task is left to us. Renado then gives you a letter, which he explains is because he can't stand being around Telma. It seems like she likes Renado, so maybe this is why he's avoiding her. He's like, ah. So next, if you speak with Illia, she'll tell you about this mysterious person who rescued her and told her about the Rod of the Heavens, though she doesn't really remember much else. She also says that she's sorry that Link has been caught up in all this, considering that he's a complete stranger. So sad, she has no idea who Link is. That's all we have to do up here, so hop on down into the basement and pay a visit with Shad if you like, though it's not really required. This part's kind of optional, really. So he's standing in front of the owl statue that is down here, and as you speak to him, he'll be very surprised to see you. He speaks of the sky beings, known as the Uka, that he also mentioned before back in Telma's Bar if you talked to him back then, and how there's a connection between them and the statues that are scattered throughout Hyrule, and his father wrote a lot about it too, and he has his father's notes. So this one in particular is actually a little bit different, and because on its belly it has like a slight different shape with engravings on it in the ancient sky writing. This inscription reads that it will awaken with a secret word. I doubt that it's open sesame, so we're going to have to figure out something else. He goes on to say that Illia mentioned the Rod of the Heavens, which will probably help us in solving this mystery. Kind of a leap since you don't really know much about the sky beings at all, but whatever. He essentially encourages you to continue aiding in restoring Illia's memory. So once again, another character that will let you do all the hard work. With that, you want to head all the way over to Castletown in order to see Telma. Now shortly we'll get a letter from Renado, which is telling us to come to Kakariko, but I actually went here before I ever got the letter. So if you go over to Telma's bar in order to find Shad, then you would have to come to Kakariko anyway, so if you didn't know where to go, then you might have gone to Castletown, then back to Kakariko, then back over to Castletown again. I don't know, I find that kind of annoying. It might have been cooler if they could go to 3 different places, but it's just the same place over and over again. I don't know, I think it's frustrating that way. Kind of a pointless trip. As you cross the bridge leading into Castletown, the postman will hail you down, and he has a single letter for you, which is from Renado, telling you that they may have found some more clues to recovering Illia's memory. We actually just came from there, and we learned all those clues and everything, so we're kind of doing this particular event in reverse order. So when you're done chatting with him and inspecting the letter, you want to continue on towards Telma's bar. As soon as you enter the bar itself, you want to go ahead and open your item screen and select Renado's letter. You want to use the item while standing next to Telma in order to give it to her. She'll complain about Renado using you as a messenger and not coming to see her in person. So, because Renado is trying to avoid her apparently. She goes on to say that he's a foolish man, but she's glad she understands the situation with Illia a little bit better now, and that she's more than willing to help out. She explains that the first time she met Illia was when Dr. Bourville brought her to the bar. Now because this guy is so stingy and stubborn, he may not want to help out though, so Telma gives you this idea and as well as the means of making him talk, by giving you the invoice. This little slip will show the amount the good doctor has on the tab here at Telma's bar, which is built up to quite the lovely rupee amount. So that's all we had to do here, so leave the bar and head on over to the west side of Castletown if you're playing the Wii version, or the east side if you're playing the GameCube version. So over in this side of Castletown, this is where that, the bridge is out before, but we actually completed a side quest to repair that bridge. You'll see that there's the clinic that is right here near the exit, and it's been locked throughout the majority of this game, but it is now open, so you can head on inside. So once you enter the clinic, the doctor will come up to see who it is and immediately begin talking to you. He recognizes you as the person who helped Prince Ralis before without asking for anything in return. So apparently we already know what's really important to him. He cares quite a bit about money, as his next sentence shows. He is also quietly inquires if Illia has been asking after him. So once he is done speaking, you want to stand close to him and show him the invoice. He'll glance at it and then freak out because there's no way he could pay it right now. And he explains that if he had been able to sell the wooden statue that Illia had, he might have been able to have enough money. So apparently he took something that belonged to her, or used it as payment for him doing nothing before, I guess. He goes on to say that he spilled medicine on it and set it outside because it stank terribly. What kind of doctor is he? While it was out there, it apparently disappeared, so he thinks someone stole it. After a moment of awkward silence, he'll mumble about not having enough money or the carving, so you should just run along and allow him to get back to work. So once he wanders off, you want to walk to the back of the area, and you'll see there's like a green blotch on the wall. You want to push the block out of the way and see the extent of the stinky goo pile of death. I'm not really having high hopes that this guy even knows what he's doing. So transform into a wolf and sniff it to learn the medicine scent. With this, we should be able to track down the wooden carving. You want to transform back into your Hylian form, since we will need to do so in order to open the door. You can chat with the doctor again if you want. He just whines about not being able to pay up right now, and that's all we really needed to do here. So head on out the door and join me for the next video where we will follow the medicine scent.